Hello YouTube viewers and welcome to the third interview cast, the co-cast with the pros. It's what I'm now calling SchickySC's co-pro cast. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to do right now, and I can't wait to do it some more when the beta comes up. Anyways, yeah, once again, this is SchickySC. Check out my YouTube channel, youtube.com/SchickySC, and this is brought to you once again by GLHF.it. And go ahead and check out their YouTube channel, obviously what you're watching this on now, and check out their website as well. They have a really neat blue tracker up now as well, which allows you to track StarCraft 2 blue posts. So awesome, awesome. And as you can see by the banner, guys, I have my special guest here with me, Demuslim. Go ahead and introduce yourself, Demuslim.
Okay. Oh, my SCT beta just closed down. But anyway, I'm Ben Baker. That's my real-life name. I'm 20 years old. My alias is Demuslim. I play for Team MTW, and I play Terran in StarCraft 2.
Awesome. And I think I'm correct in that you came from Warcraft 3, right?
Right.
What were you in Warcraft 3?
I was a human player, so I stuck with the human theme through and through.
Good theme. Actually, I like that. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and talk a little bit about the differences in Warcraft 3 and StarCraft 2 maybe a little bit later. But why do you think you made the switch to StarCraft 2? Were you just getting bored of Warcraft 3, or was it just getting a little too old?
A bit of both, I guess. Warcraft 3 has been pretty slow, pretty stale within the last few patches. It's been pretty much ruled by one race, specifically Orc. And it's pretty much brought the game to a dead end. And when StarCraft 2 was announced, like it was being brought out pretty soon, I just thought, wow, this is a great opportunity. And yeah, jumped on ahead. That's
awesome. Are you playing with quite a few of the players you played Warcraft 3 with now?
Mainly, like towards the start of the beta, it was me, Hasu, and Lucifron. We were the main three, I guess, from Warcraft 3.
Okay.
And I think as three as well, we had probably the best results from the Warcraft 3 players early on.
Ah, awesome. Yeah, actually, I think I remember watching a show match between players from StarCraft 2 or StarCraft 1 versus the players from Warcraft 3. I don't remember who casted that, but it was near the early beta, I should say. But it was pretty interesting to see. Anyways,
I cannot actually remember that.
You do or don't remember that, or?
I don't remember that at all. No.
Yeah, I can't remember who casted it. It might have been HD or Husky, but
okay.
Yeah, I'll have to go ahead and check that out later again. So yeah, I'll go ahead and get into the game here. We've got Lost Temple TvT, and I'm going to go ahead and start the replay in 3, 2, 1, start. So yeah, we've got you spawning as the Red Terran at the 3 o'clock position, and we've got your opponent Tarson, very popular as well, spawning as the Yellow Terran in the 9 o'clock position. So first of all, I want to get your opinions on this map. Obviously, since you weren't a big StarCraft 1 player, what do you think of Lost Temple?
Okay, Lost Temple for me. As there was a map called Lost Temple in Warcraft 3 too, it's pretty similar. Like, the 4 bases are in the same spots, the naturals are in the same spots, but overall I think it's a pretty good map. It's got everything you need. It's got the close expansions, one way into your base, no backdoors or anything, so that makes it pretty standard, pretty nice, comfortable for everyone. It's obviously got some things that can make it pretty strong for Terran. Those are the cliffs next to the naturals. Like, you can put tanks up there pretty early, or anything with a dropship, which makes it pretty hard for Protoss or Zerg to deal with early game. Apart from that, though, I'd say it's a pretty balanced map overall.
Good, good. And of course, what do you think about the TvT matchup, especially this game with Tarson?
TvT in general has probably been the hardest matchup for me to learn or to even begin to play. Early beta, which was when it was Marines, Marauders mainly, no tanks were involved, I was pretty good. I was using SCVs a lot in battles, and that pretty much gave me the edge in the early fights, which then decided the game.
Right.
And a lot of Terrans from StarCraft Brood War, they weren't into using SCVs at all, but the pathing is just so good in StarCraft 2 that not using SCVs seemed like a waste. I mean, sure, they gather minerals and stuff, but you have mules for that. So And also they had 60 health back then. I mean, they were just ridiculous tanks. So
They were.
but in general, tank positioning, that's been one thing I've had to kind of catch up on quickly, I guess. I'm still a bit behind on that, but that'll come with playing a lot. This game in particular, it's very tank orientated and not Vikings, but Marauders. I expected him to play Vikings, but he didn't at all, so that was a bit odd.
Do you think Vikings hold a really, really large part of the TvT battle?
Yes, absolutely. In this game, you'll see that me having Vikings, well, I won't spoil it completely, but I get a lot of vision advantage. I get there's a battle early on that I take full advantage of. Although he's got a slightly bigger army, I believe, he micros it incorrectly.
Okay.
Which, again, I think that's from having a Brood War background or a Warcraft 3 background. My play, especially in the early days, focused heavily on micro and my strategy being down to a T, whereas Tarson is a player that relies heavily on his macro, I guess. Okay. So the early fight that takes place, I win because of micro. He missed micros a little, but yeah. So that decides the game. But usually, you get lines of lines of tanks, and then turrets, and then you get Vikings. And to have any sort of say in the game, you have to have air control. You have to.
Yeah, air superiority in TvT does seem to be the large factor, and I kind of hope it evolves a little bit beyond that, but because it just seems so one-sided. I mean, TvT, it's almost like almost as bad as ZVZ, where you only see Speedling, Baneling, and maybe late game or maybe mid game, but I kind of hope there's some more diversity with the builds later on in StarCraft 2's life cycle.
Well, yeah, like as you said, you brought up Zerg. The games recently where it's turned into Baneling and you send one Zergling to kill one Baneling and you run Banelings in one by one. I mean,
yeah.
Well, it's very micro-intense and it's not that fun to watch. I mean, Zerg at the start, I must admit, I kind of liked it. You had a massive roach fights. At least you had expos going down and stuff, right. Whereas now it's you expo, you lose. So here, I noticed Tarson was trying to get hold of this Naga tower.
Yeah.
And you can't get pinned in on LT. I mean, it's just such a flaw if you do. So I tried to bunker there, yeah. So he's got a larger army, so I can't really win that fight. So I just move back a bit in safety, and yeah.
Okay, so Vikings are out on the field now. Obviously, it looks like both players are going to go towards the Marine tank Viking build. What do you think is the only counter to that? To have more Marines, more tanks, and more Vikings? Or do you think there's a specific unit or composition that can switch the battle into your favor?
Well, this was very early beta, or not very early. It was like go to beta, or go for StarCraft 2 beta cup 6 or so. But so this is when this strategy first came into play, and this was like the safest build of them all. I mean, right. You're safe against air, you're safe against ground relatively, but there's a lot of stuff that can beat this build now. Like a Thor drop's pretty solid against this, or a 5 Marine